Hello everyone. If you are someone who just is getting started with product management or someone who wants to become a product manager, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to talk about a little bit about my experiences and how it has helped me look at product management from a different angle and a different perspective. We will also talk about certain skill set that is required for a product manager and also some tools that will help you actually enhance that skills. So let's get started. I did my master's in computer science, and while doing that, I was also doing my CFA level 1. After which I joined a company, an investment firm, where I was working as a project manager. Slowly, I transitioned myself into working as a product manager. I then moved to a different investment firm. I worked as a product manager there for a couple of years. And after that, I moved into a risk management position. So if you look at a high level, coming from an engineering background, doing a PM role in a finance company, all three are quite different, but also interlinked. So based on my previous experiences, I've been a product manager, but I've also been in a role where I work with product managers. And the real learning came when I was at the other side of the table, where I was working with the product managers or the PMs, and when I was not actually the PM. So that is when I realized the true importance of what a PM does, and also what skill set should a PM possess so that the team as a whole is more efficient and collaborative. I do understand product and project managers are two different fields and two different roles with two different responsibilities, but I think the advice in this video is applicable to both project and product managers. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to talk about 4 important things, and there is one very special thing about product managers which I'm going to delve into detail in the next video, which is about earning respect, because as a product and a project manager, it is very important for the PM to earn the respect of the team in order to get things done. So that's something I'm going to cover in a separate video, but for now, so let's get started. Number 1, being organized. There is nothing more important for a PM than to be organized. When you're working in a product, your team would consist of developers, UI, UX, and also others. Each part of the team has different expectations and requirements. Being organized helps your team be more efficient. Let's take an example. If you're on a product team, there are hundreds of resources that you use, right? There are like PPTs, there are PRDs, BRDs, like product requirement documents, business requirement documents, user feedback sessions, all of these resources. Now, let's say in your team, I'm a developer, right? And as a developer, I have worked on a feature and I've pushed that feature in production. 6 months down the line, I come up with a similar problem and I want to actually revisit what I did 6 months back and try to see how was the user feedback. Did the user really love it? What was the user's reaction on that, right? So if I want to revisit all that, what happened 6 months back, so that I can improve my process now, I can't do that unless we have everything organized. So as a developer, I wouldn't do it because I would rely on my PM to do it, right? So this is where product manager comes into picture, where if things would have been organized, I as a developer could have easily gone back, understood, look at the documents, learn from it, and make my process more efficient. Let's take another example of a UI UX designer. As a designer, let's say I have designed something 6 months back again, right? And right now I want to revisit those designs just to understand what happened with those designs. How was the user feedback again? How would I do it if I don't have things organized, or if my resources in my team are not organized? Right? Let's take third example. As a PM yourself, if you're a PM, you usually develop strategies on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, whichever is comfortable, right? Let's say you're developing strategies on a monthly basis. 8 months down the line, you want to go back to the plan that you had developed 8 months back, and you want to see that, okay, what are some learnings that I can do? Why did I set those objectives and I was not able to clear 20% of them? What can I learn from those strategy mistakes, right? So if you had your things organized, you would have done it quite easily and you would have improved the productivity and the efficiency of the team. So number 1 being organized. Being organized is something that as a PM should be ingrained in you. Now there are certain tools that you can leverage, and certain things that I leverage in my day-to-day life is basically creating a shared folder or a shared drive. It's as simple as that. Make shared drive, create different folders, make it organized and share it with your team so that your team knows where to put what stuff, and if they are not able to do it, it's your job to be proactive and do it for the team. Tool number 2, use tools like Jira, Trello, Notion, whichever is available in your company or in your startup, right? Number 2, escalating to the right people at the right time. It is extremely important for the PM to be on top of all the items that's going on in the product. For example, there might be 5 features that a team is working on. So a developer who's working on feature number 1 might not know what's happening in feature number 2 or feature number 3. Definitely, we do have daily stand-ups to discuss all of this so that everyone is aware of all the updates in all the areas. But again, it's the PM's responsibility to kind of understand what's happening in each of the small areas and also escalate whenever required. Now, escalation has been termed as a bad word, which I really hate, because escalation doesn't mean complaint. Escalation means asking for help. I think it's the way you look at escalation, right? So when we say escalate it to your senior management, what we're trying to say is we need to ask for help from the senior management, right? Let's take an example. So imagine you are the senior management member and you have around 10-15 products under your overview, right? Now, would you like to know about each and everything what's going on in all the 15 products every day? Or would you like to have some kind of system where the PMs are reaching out to you and asking for help whenever they need help? in unblocking them. You would prefer the second one, right? And the second one exactly is escalation. So when we say escalation is not about, hey, this is what my product is doing, it's not doing well, I don't know what to do. It's not about that. It's about, hey, this is what my product is doing and this is where I'm stuck. Can you help me unblock this? And this is where you kind of brainstorm with your senior management to understand how to remove blockers. So escalation is more about asking for help and removing blockers and less about complaining about your product. Now, just escalating it to the right people is not enough, because you can't escalate to the right people every day, right? You have to make sure that the timing is right. Also, escalating at the right time is also not enough, because maybe you're escalating at the right time to the wrong set of people who are not able to help you. Hence, it's important to understand that escalating at the right time to the right people is one of the things that PM needs to be very, very cautious and aware about. Now, again, there are multiple tools that you can use to do that. One thing is 2x2s, which consists of multiple information. You can have highlights, basically what your team has accomplished in the last week or last month based on the cadence that you want to release your 2x2s on. You also have your blockers, saying what are the blockers you're facing. You can also have what are the challenges that you have overcome, and you can also have a section to understand what are some upcoming milestones that you're targeting and what's the status for those milestones, right? So there are multiple information that you can incorporate in your 2x2s depending on how you want to project it, but I think that's the best way to make the senior management aware of what's happening in your product. Tool number 2, OKRs. Objectives and key results are the best way to make the senior management aware of, hey, this is what's happening in the next quarter and this is where we are. And you can update the senior management on the OKRs on a weekly basis. So what I used to do is basically I used to have 2x2s and OKRs together sent out to the senior management on a weekly basis to make them understand, okay, this is where my product is, this is the status, and these are all my milestones for the next upcoming month or quarter, and this is how we are doing on all the milestones. And if you're doing amber or red, these are all the challenges we are facing. So that's when the senior management can step in and they're like, oh, if you're facing problems with this one, I can talk to someone and I can get it fixed, right? So senior management folks are someone who has a lot of experience dealing with people, a lot of experience in the firm, so they can actually help fasten things out. The third one is quite important, which is getting over the imposter syndrome. So as a PM, a lot of times, even I used to feel, and I'm sure a lot of people also feel that, am I valuable enough in the team? Because what happens is developers are really good at coding. You have UI UX who are really good at designing. So what are PMs? What are we good at? Talking. And in this case, you have to understand your mind is the most powerful thing here, and it thinks what it wants you to think, right? So the most important thing here is to change the definition of PM in your mind, in your brain. If you reinvent the definition of PM in your brain or in your mind, you automatically start acting in that way. So your role in this case is only confined to what you think your role is. If you think your role is more than a PM, if you want to wear multiple hats, if you want to go deep, it's fine. Think about it and you will act accordingly, right? If you think, oh, I'm a PM and I am invaluable, I don't really know what I'm doing, maybe I'm just talking, you will act accordingly and you're just digging a bigger hole for yourself. So in this case, I would say change the definition of what a product manager is or a project manager is. No matter if you're a product or a project manager, look up videos as to what PMs are doing in other companies which you value, right? Try taking learnings from them, redefine the definition of PM in your brain, and then you will act accordingly. And again, there might be times where you might not get any appreciation for the work you do from the team, and that's completely okay, right? Because if you have a communication line open with your team, and if your team is not telling you to change anything, then that is good news. No news is a good news. That's something I've learned over the last few years of experience. Now, there are a few tools that you can leverage in order to get over the imposter syndrome. Like, firstly, I think having frequent one-on-ones really help. I think one-on-ones is a great way to kind of understand or get a pulse of your team in terms of product, in terms of in terms of their motivation, in terms of their drive, and that should help you understand how you're performing. Number 2, try to identify opportunities in the team where the other people are not able to look at. For example, it's your role to look at the product at a higher level and try to understand, okay, is the product going in the right direction or not, right? So if you take an example of someone driving a car, if someone is driving a car and looking at the Google Maps or any kind of maps, the only thing that a person can see is, okay, the next 5 minutes or 4 minutes of distance, right? As a PM, all you have to do is scroll out and try to see, are you going in the right direction or not, right? So, and if you're going in the right direction, what are some challenges that you can foresee based on your experiences, and how can you try to unblock them? So imagine you are a drone and you're trying to see the path and clear out all the pathways or the blockers that the driver might be facing when reaching the goal, right? And if the goal needs pivot, that is your responsibility to kind of pivot the team at the right time. So these are all the different ways in which you can actually provide value where other people in your team cannot help you, right? Number 4, thank your team. In mostly all of the roles that I've worked, I've got little or no appreciation while I was working. And every day I used to feel like, damn, am I doing good? Because no one's telling me I'm doing good. So am I okay? Am I doing good? Right? And I used to keep judging my skills each and every day. But at the end of the year feedback, I used to get amazing reviews from my users, from my team, and from everyone, right? Now that I'm on the other side of the table where I'm actually working with the PMs, I now know why we don't get appreciation while we are working. It is because everyone is too busy. Everyone in your team is too busy trying to deliver their own items and trying to feel the same thing that you're exactly feeling. Even they are feeling that, hey, am I doing good? Am I not doing good? Right? And that is when I realized the importance of gratitude and thanking your team. And there are a few tools that I would suggest everyone, all the PMs to use. Number one is appreciation email. Every time anyone in your team does something that is truly outstanding or also something that has come out of hard work, I would strongly recommend sending appreciation emails to that person and also tagging their manager, the team, and everyone else. If you want to give constructive criticism to someone during their feedback or one-on-one sessions, you should also be able to appreciate them in front of everyone, right? That's what I believe. So I would say appreciation emails are the best way to motivate your team members. Number two is achievements email. Maybe every month, maybe every quarter. In my team, at least I do on a quarterly basis send a achievements email, which details all the different work items that my team has completed along with the owners. In that way, you are acting as a cheerleader for your team and trying to push your team in front of senior management and trying to show that, hey, this is how great my team is. And that's exactly what a PM should do. And you would not believe the productivity increase from that exercise itself is huge, right? And for all the machine learning enthusiasts out there, reinforcement learning, what does it do? It's all basically telling the machine that, oh, okay, this is good, this is bad, and based on the feedback, the machine improves. Similarly, if you give a similar feedback to your team, when it's time to appreciate the team, give them appreciation in front of everyone, and you'll see the increase in productivity to a different level. So let's take, for example, cricket. Imagine you're playing cricket and you are batting, right? The first ball you hit a six, and you get a lot of appreciation for the way you hit six, right? The second ball, you'll always try to hit a six because of the appreciation you've got for the first ball. But imagine when you hit a six for the first ball, people are starting criticizing you, saying that, hey, I don't think the six was good enough. Maybe you should have hit at a different level. Now at the second ball, you will not try to hit a six, but you'll try to put a single because now you're worried, you're stressed. As humans, we do easily get stressed, and that is natural. So again, appreciate your team as much as you can because that will help the team work amazingly. In the next video, I'm going to go over a little complicated subject, which is about earning respect, because as a PM, when you work with developers, UI, UX, and other different types of professions people, it is very important for you to garner respect of those people in order for you to get things done or influence them. So that's something I'm going to cover in the next video. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.